the mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank, and like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
Hello, thank you for joining me in this week's podcast. I hope you're going to enjoy the training material contained within. Any questions? Get in touch. Mail at learningbritishaccent.com. Section 1. Think before you speak. I have a friend. He's male, white, middle-aged, who fell in love and married a woman from Thailand. It's not uncommon for remarks to be heard questioning whether she was a mail-order bride or a Thai bride. I'm not sure whether they're actually made to his face or whispered behind his back. If not construed as straightforward racism, many people would consider this type of comment or remark as a microaggression. Microaggressions are remarks, behaviours or comments that can seem innocuous, but communicate rather derogatory or negative attitudes towards stigmatised or marginalised groups. Although they can appear on the surface as compliments or genuinely expressed questions, they actually reveal an unconscious bias or discrimination. This can be directed against a person's race, gender, sexuality, and accents. By their micro-nature, it can be unclear quite how to address them. Are they too small to bother with? The receiver is not sure how to respond. They're conscious of their discomfort, but not sure if the slight is enough to call it out. The person responsible for the unwanted comment or behaviour may be unaware of the impact their comment has, and doesn't realise the inappropriateness of their remark or behaviour. Or perhaps they absolutely do know what harm they are inflicting, and that is their intention. Even a comment like, "I love your accent," although well-meaning, immediately makes the receiver aware of their different accent and can make them feel self-conscious and other. I know I've been guilty of this before. I have a professional and personal interest in accents, and I have to be honest, I hadn't realised my curiosity could be considered as hurtful. Microaggressions can occur at work, in college, and in social situations, but they're not something that is necessarily high on anyone's radar. How aware are you of the microaggressions committed against you, or that you have witnessed? Some food for thought. Section 2. When a compliment is not really a compliment. You speak English so well. If this is said to you, it's such a double-edged sword. Really? I'm delighted that you feel my English is good enough, but what is it that you are really commenting on when you make this remark? Is this a sideways comment on my race? Is it assumed that people of colour are just not as intelligent as the white folk? Is it a swipe at my nationality, not being as superior as English? Or is it that my strong native accent automatically means I can't possibly speak and understand English to a high level? Moving along from the spoken voice, you can subject me to other microaggressions. Would you mind getting the coffee? Oh, how I love how you put those female members of the group in their place. Of course, they would love nothing more than to serve you and busy themselves with the menial tasks of the day. And just in case you accidentally wander into the wrong room, there will be some helpful chap to guide you. Are you sure you're in the right place? This is the engineers' meeting. Of course, if you're the wrong side of 30, do you even know what TikTok is? Why would you be interested in technology at your age? No need for the company to spend any of their training budget to keep your skills up to date, for you to take advantage of any promotion opportunities as they arise. Microaggressions come in all forms. I've just touched on a few of them there. I'm sure you can add your own experiences to this list. My help in dealing with these subtle aggressions are very limited, but I can offer a little assistance with your British accent, so you feel as confident and comfortable as possible when speaking English. If you have any questions about the RP British accent, please do get in touch. Can I just take a moment to break in here? You can get access to quizzes and members-only posts when you become a member of the British Accent Bundle at learningbritishaccent.com. And of course, you also get access to both the British Accent training courses. That's the RP British Accent Pronunciation course and the Ultimate RP British Accent Learning Resource. You can get all of this for under £7 per month. So if you select the yearly membership option at only £79, you can get immediate access to all these resources. So for less than £7 per month, you can make so much improvement to your speaking voice and gain so much confidence in your fluency and conversation skills. So why not gift yourself this opportunity? Section 3. Tips to deal with microaggression. I've just spoken a little about microaggressions, what they are and why they matter. But what is the best way to respond when faced with these very subtle insults? Well, it looks like we've got 3 options. 1. Run away. 2. Address the problem immediately. Or 3. Wait until a more opportune time to engage with the offence and the offender. Let's take these one by one. When I say run away, I don't really mean literally. More like ignore the slight and either not engage with the remark or change the conversation. Or you could sigh deeply and walk away. Although it doesn't feel like a satisfactory way of dealing with the insult, we have to weigh up the consequences of calling it out then and there. Or letting it slide. Not responding may be the best call for a number of reasons. Perhaps doing so could put you or your job or your role in danger. Maybe if you value the relationship with this particular person, calling it out could strain the relationship. Or 3, maybe you're not the right person to address the microaggression. Take a moment to think, what do you want to get out of this interaction? Do you, A, want to embarrass and show this person up? B, do you want the microaggressions to stop? Or C, do you want them to understand the hurt you feel? Knowing the outcome can help decide the best course of action. If you do decide to confront the situation, there's various ways to approach the conversation. Here's some phrases you could use. You could restate or paraphrase. Did I hear you saying, then paraphrase their comments? Is that correct? Or ask for clarification or more information. Could you tell me exactly what you mean by that? Or C, separate the intent from impact. So you could say, I know you didn't realise it, but when you, and then state the comment or behaviour that you didn't like, it was quite hurtful because, and then explain why. Or you could try and promote empathy. So you could say something like, how would you feel if someone said that about or did that to your sister or girlfriend? Or you could pretend you didn't understand. As people try to explain their comments, they often realise how stupid they sound. So you could just say something like, I don't get it, and then rephrase what they've said, and get them to try and explain themselves. Of course, you can leave it for another day. This could actually mean taking the issue to another party, an ally. Sometimes it's more effective if the microaggression is handled by someone outside of the situation. An organisation's HR department may be better equipped to ensure the microaggressions are dealt with and ultimately stop. Or a principal or a head teacher could assist if the issue occurs at school or college. Alternatively, you may have a friend or colleague who would be better placed to take up your complaint with a particular aggressor. I recommend thinking about your approach in advance. You may come up with a really witty put-down that is just the right mix of humour and cutting. You may think of a charming quip that would disarm the offender and subtly put them in their place. I couldn't think of any off the top of my head, but maybe you can. Section 4. Conversation phrases beginning with E. Number 1. Enough is enough. You can say this if something should stop because it's been allowed to continue for far too long. Here's some example sentences using this phrase, enough is enough. The errors in this report are unacceptable. I've given them multiple chances to fix it, but enough is enough. It's time for consequences. Sales have been declining for months while costs keep rising. The board needs to realise enough is enough. It's time for restructuring. We go through this same argument every weekend. Enough is enough. We need to find a compromise we can both live with. I keep lending you money and you never pay me back. Borrowing another £50 is out of the question. Enough is enough. Number 2. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, there are various situations in which you could choose to use this phrase. Let's go through them one by one, and I'll give you an example sentence to demonstrate its usage. So you could say excuse me as a polite thing to say if you want to speak to a stranger. I'm sorry to interrupt, excuse me, but do you know where the toilets are located? This is a polite thing to say if you have to get past somebody in a crowded space. Pardon me, excuse me, just trying to squeeze through to the door here. Requesting forgiveness. Excuse me, I didn't see you there and almost walked right into you. Expressing disgust. Excuse me, but the smell from that bin is making me feel sick. Attracting someone's attention. Excuse me, sir, you dropped your wallet back there. Apologising for rudeness. Oh, excuse me for being so blunt. I'm just exhausted today. Questioning something said. I'm sorry, excuse me, did you say that the test is next week instead of this Friday? Leaving the table. If you'll all excuse me for a moment, I'm just going to run to the ladies. Expressing disbelief. Excuse me? Since when was chocolate being considered a vegetable? So we can use excuse me in a whole variety of situations, as a polite interruption, to request forgiveness, express disgust, get attention, apologise, question something, excuse oneself, and so much more. The meaning depends on the context. Number 3. Easy for you to say. You can say this if someone doesn't seem to understand how difficult it is to do what they've suggested. Here's some example sentences using this phrase, easy for you to say. Money isn't everything. Focus on your happiness. Easy for you to say when you aren't struggling to pay your rent every month. Don't be shy, just introduce yourself. Easy for you to say. You're much more outgoing than I am. You should move abroad. It's such a great experience. Easy for you to say when you aren't the one leaving family and friends behind. Section 5. Have you seen my British English conversation videos? I hope you've had a productive week and are looking forward to the first weekend of December. It's amazing how quickly this year has passed. I hope when you look back at all your achievements of 2023, you're happy with the progress you've made towards speaking English fluently and confidently with a clear British accent sound. So I'd like to draw your attention to a collection of videos I've created to help you develop and improve on your conversation skills. Each video is about a minute in length and presents an everyday situation with everyday questions and answers. I play one role, which is usually the manager, the owner, or a company official, and you can take the part of the client or customer. Your lines are presented as text on the screen. Now, if you can, record yourself speaking these lines. And if the text and speech goes by too quickly, feel free to slow down the speed of the video or pause it whenever needed. I've tried to record each video at a fairly regular conversational pace that you'd hear in everyday speech. However, you may find that this is just a little too fast for your level of English or fluency, so please adjust the speed to one that you are comfortable with. Each short conversation consists of roughly 3 questions and 3 answers, and they'll help with your competency in listening and comprehension, as well as pronunciation, accent, and intonation. Now, if you're unsure how to say a particular line of your script, I have recorded each line as a separate audio file, which you can listen to and compare your version with mine. And I've also included some tips to help improve your British accent and pronunciation, especially when it comes to connected speech skills. So you can find these videos on my blog at learningbritishaccent.com. I'll put a link to the first video of the series in the show notes. Please note that many of these videos are available to view only to those of you who have signed up for the membership of the British Accent Bundle. So make sure you're logged in so you can view them. If you're not yet a member, do remember you can join for less than £7 a month by purchasing the 12-month subscription option, and I'll put the link to purchase again in the show notes. Thank you very much for listening to this week's podcast. I hope you have a fantastic weekend and week to follow, and that you can tune in next Friday at roughly the same time. Cheers for now.